as an actor, because Duke got this fresh cut,
Mhm.
there's a lot of thought go into that because you're the product. So do you have to
Totally,
consider,
totally,
do you have to
totally.
weigh all the pros and cons? It's not like just pulling up
No,
super cuts. What's
no,
that
no, no.
process like?
This changes everything. I have to talk to my producers, to my agents, to my manager.
Yeah.
Uh, no, I probably actually should tell someone. My mom was like, don't get your hair cut. Like, you got to tell your manager and everything. And I'm like, it's slow season right now. Grows back in a month anyway. If anything, maybe I'll get some new headshots and get something kind of cool out of it.
Yeah.
Uh,
This
and
could be the missing link.
I know the hair length.
It could be the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Keep trying stuff, right? But no, yeah, I don't know. We're doing that, dude. I started writing a movie with my dad. Another movie. We're still waiting to do the Duke of the Valley thing. My dad's gonna promises hit up Caitlyn Jenner in the next couple days, and they're gonna have dinner and do the thing. But yeah, we're writing a new movie. So
Are you at outline stage? How many sessions have you had with him? What's it
I
look
haven't
like?
told you anything about it yet.
I don't think so. No.
Cool. Well, I guess we've talked about the idea for a bit now, and it's about pickleball, the
Right.
sport, which my dad is jumping into pretty handfully.
That's hilarious.
It's quite funny.
Yeah.
And it's so we know that we were going to do something on pickleball and kind of like take the personalities that we've seen at the paddle tennis courts and stuff in Venice Beach, the ridiculous human beings that you see down there, and put them in something. And we have options to do this like low budget, or maybe if you get someone from the pickleball world, now that everyone's in it, to star in the movie or something, then maybe we do a big budget or something happens. But we've come up with completely the outline of it.
Great.
And we're fleshing out scenes now. And really it's just a question of now we're just trying to explore even more stuff so you don't go with your first idea.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'll tell you, the idea in a brief is just like you come in, my dad's the main character, like a fictional version of him, like a down and out ex tennis player who got kicked off the tour for sort of like a falsified rumor, started by his opponent at one stage,
Right.
who was like a John McEnroe type player, had everything going for him, cocky son of a gun, and booted him off the tour. So Vince is a disgraced character, and you see him now. You cut to present day, and he's teaching tennis for his scrubs at this local park. And my character would be like one of his cronies.
I
He's
like
got
that fall from grace. He like
It's
starts at
classic.
his peak and then it's just like, fuck.
Yeah, it's like Blades of Glory, all
Yeah.
that stuff. And you come in, I'm one of the people who we've already decided so far, without giving away too much, I might be like an Italian kid that works at the Olive Garden, ironically. and we're con men, like Jimmy's got a part, and they're all like real people that we've kind of seen that are
Right.
beautiful, kind of just multi-dimensional characters, and they're all ironic. And then the Johnny McEnroe character comes to his park trying to play pickleball with his entourage, and they kick off my dad's character and stuff and everything, and there's a fight. It breaks out like pickleball versus tennis. And then finally they say, all right, if you could play pickleball, challenge us. Who's going to win? And they play for a bet. And ultimately, one of the people loses. And then it gets to, and all I'm going to say is that's almost the full setup. And one thing happens that's going to propel the story on an entire thing. And Caitlyn Jenner may or may not be involved.
Of course.
As a billionaire country club owner.
Necessary. Yeah.
Yes, that's the one through.
Bro, I can imagine like the way that these pickleball tournaments can be shot can be something fucking intense, bro. Like and that would make it so funny too. Like if it's all dramatic and slow motion and all this kind of shit, that's hilarious, bro. And the whole Italian angle, like working at Olive Garden, do you despise your job or what's that like?
Great question. We haven't thought about like what I think about the job yet. I suppose maybe not, because he's kind of too stupid to realize that it's ironic. He's kind of this like ambivalent, like happy-go-lucky Italian guy, and he's obsessed with the girl that works there, and she ends up like playing pickleball for the people of the other team, and then he wants to get her back type thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I might also like have gotten hit in the eye by a tennis ball at one point, and so I have like a glass eye.
I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
What's the gameplay like? And I'm sure you guys haven't even thought of this because you're already, you're only in the outline stage. But I'm curious, like your dad's made these movies, like he has some, pedigree behind him. You've done some stuff.
Sure.
A project like this, you said there's like a version where like if you get bigger names, whatever, it can be a bigger budget thing. But like on the business end, are you even thinking yet as far as like how you get it to the end of the runway? Or is it more just like, let's make a really good script and then kind of see where the pieces fall?
More so the second part, but naturally it all happens kind of at once and you just address each thing as it comes. And so the conversations have consisted of like, obviously, if someone in the pickleball world, Jamie pipe dream, Jamie Foxx has a team, Tom Brady has a team, DiCaprio, all these people are playing pickleball. My dad is destroying the tour right now. Like, it's funny. Like, he's really going big. He's meeting all these people and stuff too. And they're all like, in pickleball, it doesn't matter what background you have, what career you have. All that matters is how good you are. So he's getting all sorts of respect. So there's always a chance we go that avenue. Or if like somehow Duke of the Valley gets some love, like before we're finished with it, maybe that'll help our chances. And then on the other end, we have some potential ways of financing it that if we did it like low budget, it'd be fun too. But the main through line, all we're really knowing is that we're going to make something we're super proud of, and it's going to be really fun shooting it. So
it's so curious. I'm surprised the pickleball thing hasn't, like, I don't know of any movie that's ever even dealt with pickleball. Like, you guys would be the first. So I think you should jump on this thing because otherwise, like, yeah, it is starting to grow and stuff. So if you're the first one,
storm, dude, the sport, like, it's very polarizing too. Like in the tennis world, a lot of people are against it because it's such a big thing. And paddle tennis, like they call them sellouts and stuff that are playing. It's really funny because obviously it's like, who the hell cares? It's so corny, but so that's what we're doing. And I want to tell you, there's like a good writing moment. My dad and I, who I've gotten better at collaborating with him more and more.
Yeah.
And I would say we're really good now. And I'm like one of the best people at working with him because I know how to not defend every little thing or force him to explain every little thing. I go with the rhythm. Right. And I know how to, just how to enhance our performances, writing performance, and or brainstorming at least. And we had this moment, like we got Korean barbecue the other night.
Oh yeah.
It always happens.
I did too, bro. Like 3 nights ago. It's a good time.
Damn, what a coincidence.
Yeah. Probably the same place.
Was it in Koreatown quarters?
Nah, dude, I was in the Valley.
Gukaku, probably.
Nah, Ace. Oh, it stands for all you can eat. It's like Ace Gogi. It's a good spot.
Ace Gogi. All you can eat gogi. Gogi must be good.
Yeah. Where'd you go?
So we went to Quarters.
Oh, okay.
We have this pretty good routine, actually. We got to do it more, but you go to the Korean spa called Beverly Hot Springs.
Yeah.
Hot jacuzzi and a cold plunge next to it. And there's
Dude, did you do the cold plunge?
Always.
How cold does it get?
Probably got down to like 48 degrees this time.
Is it like the one that looks like a bathtub? It's the cold plunge. Like that's the name of the brand? No.
Nope. No. It's not one of those fancy ones, which are awesome. But this is literally a square box in the ground filled with freezing cold water.
Dude, I'm big into that. Like I've heard like there's so much stuff with like even cold showers, whatever. Like it really, like, dude, if you take a cold shower in the morning, you're fucking ready to go. It like, yeah. But dude, there's this one, it's called the Morosco Forge. It creates its own ice. It's like $10K. One day I'm going to get one of those things. Like every morning, bro, just jump in that for like 2 minutes. It's fucking on.
Dude, that's like an important key feature in my mansion someday. I have to have a jacuzzi and a cold plunge.
Yeah. Okay, so it's like the 1-2 punch. You do the spa, then you go to the Korean barbecue.
Then the Korean barbecue immediately after. And you got to get the right thing in the Korean barbecue. Now you get what type of beef did we get? We got I don't know. I think it's just called the beef. Maybe it is hard to go wrong. Yeah, the Korean beef.
Is it bulgogi or whatever?
Great question. That does ring a bell.
It's meat. It's red meat.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff they put on it. Anyway, let's not get too sidetracked here. With that said, we had a moment. My dad's like, all right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. When I come back, you better come up with something, even if it's bad. You got to throw something out there, because maybe I hadn't for a while. It sounds like. And I told him,
the clock's ticking. You have like 5 minutes. Come up with something.
Exactly. Yeah. In fact, you know, we were waiting for my Uncle Jimmy to meet us at the Korean barbecue. At this point, we were just having a couple beers beforehand, killing time in between the spa and the barbecue. And he comes back, a couple drinks, and I tell myself, come up with something, even if it's bad. So I start thinking, and I don't know how I came up with it. I'm sure I thought of it like from some other movie or something, but I was like, what? Because we were trying to think like, why is it so, what makes the stakes high enough to where you care if these two people are going to play in pickleball for all the marbles in the end? What do the marbles represent? And that's when I came up with that the bad guy, the McEnroe character, basically started this lie about the main character that disgraced his reputation, got him kicked off the tennis tour.
That was a fall from grace. Yeah.
Fall from grace, which it needed. And then basically with them playing in the future to this eventual like exhibition win, the stakes are high because, for starters, he says, if you win, Vince, I'll tell the world the truth. That's one big part. So that makes it instantly more personal than, hey, you win $1 million.
Right.
So that's one big part of it. I came up with that, and that's like, it stayed with us. We haven't booted that off yet. So
yeah.
That was a solid stakes winner. And it's just funny. It's just funny the lesson in focus, that like, it's not like, oh, worry about coming up with something and think about what is it like to come up with something. It's just like, I literally tried to think of something, pull from something else.
Yeah.
What would be interesting in that moment?
Yeah.
You know, cross analyze and
yeah.
There you go. It's not that hard.
I love, my favorite process now for just outlining wise is like thinking of 40 scenes and just being like, okay, what's the first scene? And just kind of sit there, and something always comes, and maybe you change it, maybe you alter it, whatever, but it's like, it's putting something down on paper. And a lot of the times it is the best idea, you know?
Right. The first one.
Okay. What's scene 7? Like, what comes after this? You know,
there's no reason to rhyme. You got to just keep trying. You got to sit there, the first rule of thumb is put in the time, like literally allocate some time. And then once you're doing that time, keep trying. It's annoying to like, you know, you can look in 25 different directions, but try. And then when it doesn't work, it doesn't work too. It's fine.
Dude, there are a lot of pros and cons to like working by yourself or working with someone on a script. Mm-hmm. But there's something about like, if you find that right partner, and I found like me and Ken wrote this script that I'm super proud of. And when it works, and it's rare for it to work. So like, it's really cool. You know, it sounds like you and your dad finally found a rhythm or whatever. But like, when you find that person, there's a certain kind of energy that comes of just like bouncing stuff off of each other, where it's like, dude, I'm now 2 scripts deep. Like the last 2 that I just finished, it was just me like banging my head against the wall, me and myself. And so just hearing this experience of like you working with your dad and kind of feeding ideas off of each other, I think it's a good way to go.
It certainly is. I appreciate you saying that. Even today I was with him, and like when he brings up, he's like, now we're going to talk about the script again. My first instinct is like, I'm too tired. I'm always tired when he brings it up. It never sounds fun. Right. But then I tell myself, I'm going to make this great. I'm going to make this a good thing, try my best. And then you just got to think about it in a positive way.
It's that resistance that comes at the beginning. And it takes like, for me, it's about like, I don't know, 10, 12 minutes. And then once I get over that hump, it's like you're in, and then everything's kind of flowing. But that stops like so many people who want to be writers or who want to finish a script, whatever. It's just about getting past that initial fucking thing.
Distance. Totally.
And dude, I think writing is the hardest thing in the world. Like I would rather, it's easier for me to like go be like, yo, I'm going to work out for like an hour, 2 hours. Then like, I'm going to sit down and try and come up with something for an hour. It's the hardest thing in the world.
Working out, another thing that is hard to most people don't do it, but then to some people is literally like a gift of anything.
I mean, it's with anything. I feel like even people who like are like, yeah, like I like working out or whatever, there's always going to be some resistance because it's hard to do. It's like discomfort, you know? Mm-hmm. And like a lot of the times it's the people who can get comfortable with discomfort that end up accomplishing things.
I will tell you, for working out, if you get on the treadmill and listen to MC Hammer's Can't Touch This, it'll inspire your entire
workout. Just fucking time goes.
Oh yeah, it'll gel. It'll be life-changing. With that being said, what are you working on at the moment? How's your week gone?
It's good, bro. Yeah, those 2 scripts are really my main focus. I like bouncing stuff off of producing partner Ken. He gives me good notes, good feedback. And I've got this guy on Fiverr that I found that I really like. He gives me really good feedback. Yeah.
What'd you hire him officially for? Because I love Fiverr. I didn't know you could do that. I may have to do it too.
Bro, there are a lot of people on Fiverr who do coverage. And I'll shoot you over this guy's info too. It's like kind of pricey, but like if you compare it to, like, it's not going to be the $5 logo that we got for this podcast,
which is incredible.
Yeah, the best picture ever. But dude, it's like it's comparable to what most coverage services are. And this guy is really good. It's like he pinpoints everything that I wouldn't think of. Like he's looking out for all this stuff. I'm like, yo, this is dope. I've got this like great horror imagery. It's really scary. And he doesn't like really give a shit about any of that. He's like, yo, this like, yeah, this character, like this doesn't really work. It's not natural. And I'm like, fuck, you're right. You know? And so if you can find someone where you're like, even if it hurts, it's always gonna, bro, this process is brutal because you finish a script and you think that you're done. You're never done. And so, yeah, man, I just sent him my, second script that I've been working on. The haircut is in a really good place. And the script called The Nest is what I just sent to him today. So I'm going to get his feedback and then I'll probably do a table read with people and kind of get a feel of what it sounds like. And then I'll submit it to competitions and then hopefully get repped. That's the gameplay.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, and how much is the guy on Fiverr?
He's like 80.
Nice. Yeah. What was I gonna say? All right. Fantastic.
Which, dude, when I like, because I've done the whole thing of like sending it to friends and stuff, and it's like, no offense to them, like everyone has their lives, but it takes like 3 weeks to get notes back. And so if you just want notes fast, it's like you got to pay someone.
Totally. I could have done it for 80.
Yeah. I know you'd be on it, bro. Yeah.
No, that's epic, man. What was I gonna say? Oh, we're doing on a slightly different note. We're doing the Value Mentality commercial. I think I might have mentioned to you.
When's that happening?
We were supposed to do it this past Sunday, yesterday, but Tanner and Marissa, who are playing the leads in it, were like, can't do it anymore. They're doing it. So we're all going to do it next week. A friend of a friend got us a filmer who's lovely, shoots stuff on film.
No shit.
Yeah. Does everything on film.
Crazy. Yeah.
And he's been sending me inspiration and stuff. And I found the video that I was kind of inspired by too, which is like Mr. T's workout video from the 90s. Or he helps kids on the playground. He's like, hey there, little kid, what you say? We're going to go up this slide and we're going to be playing. Like, it's literally so silly.
It is going to be like on a playground. Are you going to be singing something?
No.
Visuals.
Yeah, and first of all, they did a Key and Peele spoof of that as well.
I think I saw that. Because you singing that thing, I was thinking of like Jordan Peele.
Yeah. Gosh, that's awesome. But no, like what we're doing is just in the sense that it's like a staticky sort of like vintage video, but their 90s one looks more like it's shot on home video. Ours isn't going to be that. It's more also for the awkwardness of the whole vibe.
Yeah.
I want ours. It's gonna be like a Ron Burgundy type guy with like a turtleneck and mustache, and his
You.
wife. I wish it'd be me, but
Oh,
I
it's
think it's probably
Tanner.
smarter for Tanner. Yeah,
Got you.
because we want to get shot around Hollywood, and he's very like in the pulse of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so he's awesome playing a big old jovial idiot, as am I. So it's gonna be like Ozzy and Harriet, him and his wife, and they're gonna be like strutting down and be like, "Well, what is the valley mentality? Well, it's simple. Where there's a hill, there's a valley. The valley's got all sorts of things. It's got," and then we go into it, and it's gonna be funny.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be sort of like 1960s vibe in a sense.
You're gonna shoot that around social and just hope it spreads. Get some.
Yeah, but we might have a screening for it.
A screening.
Yep, at the Pineapple Hill
Saloon.
Saloon.
Going to be
Short, like a minute and 30, but I figure it's still just an excuse to get everyone to a place or something.
Of course.
I mean, if that is a thing, that might be so like unnecessary, but
I mean, so are you thinking like a formal theater or like Pineapple Saloon?
Pineapple Saloon projector.
Dude, that's great. You should totally
Yeah.
do it. Even have it on repeat.
That's brilliant. Now we're talking. Have like a booth. Maybe not make it such like a nighttime party, maybe a little earlier. But we're excited. I think because I wrote a script for it a bit ago. I think we need fishing supplies. Do you think a mustache like that, is that something you can get at Party City or something? Amazon probably, right?
Both.
Okay, cool.
Amazon.
Nothing.
Also, you can return anything on Amazon.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's what got. No, I just had a vision of who I wanted him to be, and it's literally Michael Douglas's character in Ghosts of Girlfriends Past. Matthew McConaughey movie where.
Bro, I've never seen it, but it was in a Conan sketch with like Kevin Hart and and what's his face? I'm blanking on the name, but they're like driving around and they stop at like a convenience store and Conan's like, "Yo, I got Ghosts from Girlfriends Past." And they're like, "What the fuck?" It's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
I've actually seen that movie.
I have. It used to be on like TBS all the time. And it's like Matthew McConaughey, Jennifer Gardner, classic rom-com, but Michael Douglas plays this character inspired by Bob Evans, the real life movie producer, who's considered one of the best ladies' men in history. He was also best friends with my grandfather, Dickie, growing up. And the guy, he was just basically like Austin Powers in a sense, like the cool of cool. He drove like a Cadillac, had like these like dark glasses, and had like a big turtleneck and like a nice jacket. And he's like, "All right, Dutch, now the first thing about taming ladies is you got to do this. Go up to her friend first." It's all like hilarious advice. And he's giving it to
super corny.
So corny.
Yeah.
Kind of like Jimmy and me. But it's like Michael Douglas, and then he's saying that to his nephew, Matthew, who's like played by a kid who's supposed to be Matthew McConaughey. Anyway, so I want Tanner to be kind of like that. Like, well, the thing about the Valley mentality is, kind of like the dodgeball.
Like retro vintage clothes with like the huge collars and shit. Yeah.
Yes.
Jumpsuits.
Got so many options for it. I need to really talk it through with Tanner. I mean, it's easy to do like the obvious way, and that'll still be great, but gotta try our best. So anyway, it's very exciting. We're probably gonna film it sometime early next week.
It's exciting, bro. Yo, you got so much shit going on. I'm curious. Do you do like New Year's resolutions? Is there one goal that you're focused on for this year?
I made some vaguely. Maybe I should have written them down better. I mean, I think I did write them down. Goals. I have them right here. They're pretty general.
Happy,
I have like,
balanced life.
No, they're more specific than that. I have my acting goals, which I always go a little lofty. And then Valley mentality goals.
Bro, what are your acting goals? Like, even if they're lofty, let's speak that shit into existence. What do you want?
Yeah, I mean, I want to book huge stuff. I want to, be a movie star, a TV star this year. Like, just get the sickest roles and put myself in great position to really tell a great story, do awesome things, work with really talented people. Um, and so, who knows how that starts or whatever. But and then Valley Mentality, I think we made goals like 10,000 followers on Instagram by summer.
Cool.
Which that would translate to a lot of customers and stuff too. Obviously, we have to be
That's
big.
pretty reasonable.
Thank you.
And it just depends on like whoever's sharing.
It does, man. That can happen overnight if it's
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian sharing.
Yeah.
But and then like relationship goals, which are great too, and it's just we do stuff.
All
How
the
about you?
of your life. Dude, I want a manager. That's it. That's the main fucking thing, but the right manager too, because there's
Cool.
like
I haven't heard you talk much about that in the past. That's cool that you're really highlighting that now. Interesting.
Thanks, man. Yeah, there are certain people that I have in mind where it's like their tastes and the projects they're on and what they're trying to produce, whatever the clients that they have completely lines up with what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like managers especially can really get you in front of the right people. It's all like the whole generals thing, like the water bottle tour. It's kind of what I need right now. I feel like I'm at the point where I have, material, especially like fine tuning these last 2 scripts that I wrote, feel good about them. And yeah, I think it's just about like getting in front of the right people, and a manager can be really helpful with that. And also it'd be really encouraging to me to have someone like at the finish line where it's like, they're really connected. I know that like once I finish a script, it's not just going to like sit on my computer. You know what I mean?
Totally.
We can actually make something happen. So that's
and then maybe, who knows what you can do with the right person.
But dude, like the process of, and it might be different with acting. But at least like as a literary manager, you want them to come to you. So that's why I'm thinking about like certain competitions and stuff, because if you place,
right,
they'll approach you. But it's like, it's such a catch-22. Like you can't be direct about anything. You just got to make great work and then like hope that other people like it, and then
that's the same with anything. That's the same with acting, is you do your standard, you put your best foot forward, know that you don't necessarily need them. You want them because that's what you've chosen. And if they don't like your stuff, then on to the next one, they're lost. But these days, you're already doing stuff like that. You're putting stuff on YouTube and it's doing really well. Film festivals as well. And like, because obviously these days you can be a famous actor already on TikTok, or you can be a famous director or writer in a Sundance Film Festival or something like that. But then, they're always looking for new talent. So if you make something that you're proud of and everything which you already have, there's gonna be people that are really, your worth. Yeah.
Thanks, dude. There's this guy named Jim Cummings. He did a film, or his short film called Thunder Road, got like #1 at South by, and it led to like a feature version of that short. And bro, he even said, like, here's the thing. I think these benchmarks of goals are really important because there's no like blueprint on how to get to where you want to go. So like if you have a goal, like I want a manager and then like I want to, sell something or whatever, like it's good to set those things for yourself. But it was interesting. This guy who placed at like the top tier festival and like he did the whole rounds with everyone knows who he is. He's still having trouble like having people give him money for projects. So it's like at any level that you're at, you're always still going to be hustling, to some extent. Obviously, like if you get to a certain place and it's like, yeah, you're kind of set. But even so, you have to constantly like be proving yourself. And yeah.
And like the waves will come where everything's so easy and you didn't expect it. You're like, I haven't done anything. Why is everyone so excited? And then like other times you'll just have come out with something huge, or you'll just have won a big award and no one will be calling you. And that happens to everyone.
Right. And I think especially like your perspective on it, you being in this family where they've been in showbiz, and it's like you've been surrounded by this thing. seeing the waves and like the crashes and like the whole thing, it's a much healthier approach to like, be like, yo, you have to have like a well-rounded life because it's such an unpredictable thing that it's like you can't put your value and like all of your worth and all this shit into like something that's so unpredictable.
Dude, I was just looking at these actors in Seinfeld today from 30 years ago. They're so good. They're so funny. These people that are like good looking and brilliant and comedic. They can do everything. You look them up, and some of them have done like little stuff here, little stuff there. Some of them have gone on to become movie stars and stuff. But it's just like, not to say that they have a bad life either. Like, you gotta just not feel bad.
Are you talking about like not the leads of Seinfeld, but like the kind of more
side characters?
Yeah.
Side parts, yeah. But those people, like, there's no small parts, and they stand out, and they like some of the best side characters in anything. That and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia to me have like the best side characters.
Right. Dude, even this guy, the whale, what's his name?
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah. His comeback is like that's the other side of this coin. I think it's kind of what makes it exciting and why you would even have the motivation or the perseverance. Cause like the unknown of the whole thing, like if we would know exactly how everything pans out and how long it takes and all this shit, it's like we wouldn't feel motivated to continue working.
Maybe. Brendan Fraser is an interesting thing. He is such an exception, in my opinion. Like, it's so interesting. And his comeback has been coming for a while of him getting, he was on this very edgy TV show called, it was about John Paul Getty. It was about the Getty family in Italy. It was on FX. It was called like Luck or something. It was like one word. It wasn't luck, but it was something like that. Anyway, he was so good in it. All the reviewers were just loving him because as a movie star, when he was in all these kind of like lowbrow, jolly movies, he was really, really funny and famously like, great looking. Like he was like a caveman, like in George of the Jungle and stuff. Hilarious. And The Mummy and stuff. He's just all American juggernaut, right?
Yeah.
After that, he had like a mental breakdown or something, and maybe it was his career just fizzled a little bit. And I think he had some personal problems on an article I read. But now at this comeback, he somehow McConaughey'd it and started holding out long enough to get these really critically acclaimed filmmakers to send him stuff. And he got that first thing, crushed it, because there's a reason why he was so successful before. And he's been coming, and then he gets his part. It's very like, what the Academy Awards people love, which is a weight change. Method acting, anyone? And of course now he's like a front runner for Oscars.
Yo, you saying he McConaughey'd it, like, is that an active thing that like McConaughey and him did as far as like what do you mean by holding out? Do you think it's something that the industry did to him, or was it?
It was intentional on McConaughey's part based off his book. He started having to say no to the massive offers that were coming his way from the same type of movies, the rom-coms and everything. He had to start to say no. It went silent for a bit and he didn't get any offers and he was nervous about his future. Then finally something came that was more dramatic and serious. And I think it might have been intentional of Fraser. We'd have to get him on the podcast.
Well, we will one of these.
We will.
Days. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, bro. The saying no thing is interesting because like everyone, because it is such a competitive thing, it's easy to have the mentality of like, let me grab onto whatever I can. And especially as like the dollar signs get bigger and bigger.
Oh, yeah.
I see so many horror directors who like love horror and that's their genre. They end up like doing the superhero movies and all this stuff, which like, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's really where you want to take your career, and there are a couple of them that it felt right, but there's a lot of it has to do with like you're getting paid like 10 mil to direct this film, as opposed to like, let me intentionally, and that's something I want to be super fucking intentional about, where it's like, if I like, dude, I don't like superhero movies. It's something I've never like been about, I just can't watch them. To me, they're like all the same. It's like an amusement park, like Scorsese. So,
oh yeah, that was a bit of a below the belt. Yeah, those guys said, in my opinion. But yeah.
But yeah, I think it's important to stay true to like, and your feelings about like what you want to do can change as you get older or whatever. But I think it's important to always tap into like, am I doing this for the right reasons?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a situation question. And it's like at the end of the day, people want to make good stuff. You want to make something that's good and can support your life. And there's just like there's a checklist of like in what order they go in, you know.
Yeah, dude. Yo, I want to say the more I think about this podcast and like where it's going and the awesome guests that we've had on, I think we said this before, but this is like the ultimate networking tool. And that's not the reason why we're doing it. It's like kind of a side thing that comes along with it. But dude, it's fucking brilliant. And we weren't even being intentional about that. I feel like it just kind of lined up in the perfect way.
We didn't even realize it. It's like such a fun way to get to know very successful artists and stuff. Is like, hey, we want to have you on and like talk to you about your beginnings, what inspires you, and go through your career with you, and then hopefully inspire some other people. And it's lovely to get to know these people.
Exactly. And a lot of like celebrity interviews or whatever, they're so cringy and so kind of hokey. And like, let's look up like the most searched Google. It's like people, I feel like people do want to hear about their lives, and they want to hear about like how are they a human being? Like we want to get to the core of like, who is this human, and like what motivated them to become what they became.
What were they like when they were just like everyone else, like us, and they just had a dream, and then they took a chance, and then they started on that journey. And because they're so unique, all the trends that I've noticed with our guests so far is that they're super, I don't want to say lucky, but they've had stuff go their way by putting a lot of stuff out there. They put a lot of stuff out there and put in the effort, and then they felt lucky to get to do these things, like they're just super appreciative. And then stuff just kept happening. They're in the game. They just kept doing it.
Dude, it's going to save us and our listeners years, because a lot of this stuff they had to figure out the hard way on their own. But it's like us hearing their experience, we can then come across something super similar and be like, yo, like this person didn't go this way, so now I'm not going to go this way because I know how it panned out for them.
Yeah. Insight, strategy.
Strategy. That's what we're about. It's good seeing you, bro. We're going to have another guest next week. I'm going to hook us up. We'll make it happen,
bro. Let's do it. I'll talk to you later.
I like the cut. I'll see you next one, bro. Peace.